summer, there were rumblings around the NFL that the Dallas Cowboys were a team on the decline. But Dallas began the season in sensational fashion.
Throws it to the post. Touchdown!
Against the Redskins, a 21-point deficit became an overtime victory. Troy Aikman reflects.
I think it does say something to our football team that, hey, we aren't ever out of a game, and we do have the ability to come back from a big deficit and win.
Aikman, play fake, back with time, deep, he's got Rocket alone, Rocket, caught it at the 40, Rocket, touchdown, Dallas wins in overtime.
On the ground, Emmitt Smith ran for 109 yards.
I think we grew together as a ball club on Sunday. I think we grew tremendously. If there was any doubts within this organization, within this team, I think a lot of those doubts were removed.
Now, Troy Aikman and company can take a big step in convincing the rest of the country when the Dallas Cowboys take on the NFC champion Atlanta Falcons. A premium matchup tonight. The end of summer in North Texas. You're looking at downtown Dallas. Temperature today up in the 90s. Right now, low 80s. Texas Stadium sold out. Home of the Cowboys since 1971. Tonight, the Falcons and the Cowboys. Al Michaels with Boomer Esiason and Leslie Visser. What a wild 2 weekends it has been in the National Football League. No game wilder than the Washington-Dallas game last Sunday when the Cowboys became only the second team in the history of the NFL to trail by 21 points with 11 minutes to play and win the game. Troy Aikman throwing 5 touchdown passes. Tonight it's the Falcons, the NFC champions, 14-2 last year, trying to prove they weren't one-year wonders. If they lose tonight, they will have lost as many games in 99 as they did in all of 98. They'll need a big night tonight from their premier running back, Jamal Anderson. Good matchup at Texas Stadium as the Dallas Cowboys host the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football.
This game is also being broadcast in HDTV in cooperation with Panasonic on the digital TV channel of your local ABC station where
For the kickoff and with Boomer Esiason now. Boomer, we'll see Troy Aikman on one side of the field tonight. On the other, Tony Graziani, because of the injury to Chris Chandler, gets the start for Atlanta, only his 3rd career start.
Now, who is Tony Graziani? He's got 2 good things going for him. He's left-handed and he wears number 7. And really, even a better thing, he's got a great running back in Jamal Anderson, who was very angry last week because he only carried the ball 16 times. I would suggest that we're going to see a big dose of him. If Tony Graziani does not complete a lot of passes, does not move the ball and get first downs, expect to see Danny Cannell.
Well, Atlanta's going up against a defense that gave up over 500 yards to the Redskins last week, so they're porous.
As sensational as their offense was last week, the Cowboys' defense is in somewhat of a disarray form right now. They're missing Deion Sanders. They're missing Leon Lett. This is a team right now that is trying to find himself. The great thing about the NFL, Al, redemption is at hand. They can basically make a statement tonight and try to get themselves back to where they expect to be.
Might have another shootout tonight. Been a wild 2 weeks, as we say in the NFL. Action tonight as Week 2 climaxes in Dallas. The Cowboys and the Falcons. And the Dallas Cowboys will be receiving the kickoff. Just before we kick it off, let's go down to the field and Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Al, it is a familiar place for Dan Reeves. He, of course, coached and played for Dallas for 15 years. Dan, we have a left-handed number 7 in the booth. You have one on the field. What are you asking of Tony Graziani?
Well, just to play his game. You know, if we're going to win this thing, we can't make mistakes, and Tony knows that. But we got to run the football and hope them make them earn everything they get.
What about on defense? You saw how explosive Dallas was last week.
Well, you got to stop their running game, then hopefully put some pressure on them. But they're going to move the football. We just got to hope them get some turnovers.
Thank you very much,
okay,
Dan. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Leslie. Dan Reeves coming into Dallas. He came in here 4 times as the coach of the Giants between 93 and 96 and went 0-4. Morton Anderson to kick off. Sherman Williams, the once and current Cowboy, re-signed again this week along with Jeff Ogden back deep. And here we go from Irving, Texas. It's a one-hopper that skips through the end zone. And the Cowboys will take over at the 20-yard line. Troy Aikman has been working his magic since 1989 when he was the first overall pick in the NFL out of UCLA. Now in year 11, coming off a scintillating performance last week in the nation's capital with 5 touchdown passes. And Emmitt Smith had another triple-figure day last Sunday. Tim Lester was just signed this week, the ex-Steeler. Ismail and Irvin outside. LaFleur, the tight end, 2 TDs last week. Great offensive line. Adams, Allen, Stepnoski, McIver, and Williams. Stepnoski used to be with the Cowboys, went to Tennessee, then they brought him back, and he anchors the middle. They start with Bjornsson in the slot on this first play from the 20-yard line. And Aikman to the air immediately, and the pass is a little bit underthrown, incomplete, intended for Michael Irvin, who's covered by Ronnie Bradford. Defensively, for the Atlanta Falcons, who lost last week 17-14 to Minnesota, Archambault, Hall, Dronette, and Smith, a good front four. Crockett, Tuggle, and Brooking, the linebackers. Buchanan and Bradford, Marty Carter, the ex-Bear, and Eugene Robinson are the safeties.
Yeah, the defensive line of the Atlanta Falcons, very active, strong, like to get in front of people, good fighters at the point of attack.
Second down and 10. And it's Smith's first carry of the night, and it's a flag as he takes it out to the 24. Travis Hall makes the stop, and so Tom White makes the first call of the night momentarily.
You're going to have motion on the Dallas Cowboys, 2 men moving at the same time. Again, the war of the trenches in this game is really going to be key, especially when the Atlanta defense is on the field against the offensive line of the Cowboys. And it's because of the activity that front 7 of the Atlanta defense can give you, that the Cowboys front 5 are really going to have to be aware.
Illegal shift, offense, 2 men in motion and not setting prior to the snap. At the time the left end was dropping down, the back in motion was still moving and never reset. Third down.
Maybe we should give him a headset.
Absolutely. He has to join the union. Tom White should be an AFTRA. Third down. And 6 up at the 24-yard line. Chris Warren is in the game. Warren is their third down back. That's when Emmitt Smith takes a breather. Aikman out of the shotgun. From the 24-yard line, they convert. Michael Irvin makes the catch up at the 31. 88 has been here since 1988. Irvin is the last of the Cowboys to have played for Tom Landry.
Michael Irvin also had a great game last week, and you can see right here he uses his big body to go up, make the play, get in front of Buchanan. And when you have a receiver of this type and that size and that aggressive, all you have to do is get him the ball in his chest and he'll make the play for you.
Up at the 32-yard line.
Nice target.
That's Tim Lester setting up at fullback. Lester, who used to be the bus driver for the bus Jerome Bettis in Pittsburgh, will assume that role here up to the 33. And the reason Lester is in there is because that man, Darrell Johnston, who had neck surgery 2 years ago, came back last year, felt a stinger last week in Washington, Boomer, and the doctor suggested that his season be done with.
Well, it was interesting. After the game in Washington, he was fine. And Monday, and then he was fine also. Then Tuesday night, he started to feel numbness in both of his hands and also his face. And he made a deal with his doctor that if, in fact, he was going to have problems afterwards, that he would shut it down, and certainly he did. And there's the block by Lester right there on Brooking. But Brooking does a nice job of fighting it off and making the tackle.
Lester in pretty good shape because he was dropped by Jacksonville just prior to the start of the regular season. And Aikman under pressure and racing through is Chuck Smith, the left defensive end. Smith in his 8th year out of Tennessee and one of the best in the league, and showing you why right there.
And you're talking about an athlete. This guy's only 6'2", 262 pounds. You're used to seeing guys over there about 280, 290. And you can see right here how he runs right around Eric Williams. And Eric Williams, the guys get his hands on him. Actually, it's Flozell Adams, excuse me. But he's active, Al. He'll get in the backfield. He'll make all kinds of disruptions and give Flozell Adams a long night like that if he doesn't get on him.
9-yard sack, third down and 19. Fake inside give, then a toss to Warren. And Warren, with very little room to roam, stopped well shy of the first at the 27-yard line, and they're forced to kick. He's run out by Keith Thibodeau.
Now, this defense of the Atlanta Falcons really played exceptionally well last week against the Vikings, holding them to 17 points. And give Rich Brooks right there, he's the first guy in line on your left, the defensive coordinator of the Falcons, a lot of credit for developing a scheme and using the players that he has to shut down the Vikings and look good right now, right off the bat.
Tim Dwight, who's been nursing a sore hamstring, the quick one, a man who ran back a kick for a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
He is the human accident waiting to happen.
He is. Knows no fear. Toby Goen to send it skyward. It's a wobbly and short kick that bounces at the 45, and it's a sideways hop, and it's down at the 43-yard line by Dexter Coakley, and that's where Atlanta will take over. 12-14 left in the opening quarter in Big D. The Falcons have the ball. Last week it was Brian Greasy making his first NFL start for Denver. Tonight Tony Graziani makes his third NFL start. 7th-round pick out of Oregon in the 1997 draft.
And you know what was interesting about him? We talked to him yesterday, Al. He said he's just battling for a roster start when training camp started.
And here he is starting. Anderson and Christian in the backfield. Callaway, Mathis outside. Santiago is the tight end. Whitfield, Hallen, Sobek, Williams, and Salam up front. Good interior 5 from the 45-yard line on first down. Jamal Anderson on a flea flicker of all things with a young quarterback going deep and should have had a touchdown. Callaway drops it. So Dan Reeves, you would think, would be very conservative with a young quarterback making a start on Monday Night Football. Instead, it's the flea flicker, and he had 6.
Al, knowing Dan Reeves the way I do, he has a big bag of tricks. He likes a lot of trick plays. I asked him last night, are we going to see any? He goes, yeah, you know, I have a few up my sleeve. And he starts out this way, and it was a terrific throw by Graziani. It looked to me as if Callaway gets just shielded there a little bit. Got to make that play.
Should have had it. 2nd down and 10 from the 44. Now it's Anderson. And across the 50, taken down at the 49. Jamal picks up 7. Mathis and Ellis make the tackle. Let's look at the Dallas defense. Again, minus Lett, minus Sanders, minus Leon and Dion. Pittman, Spellman, Hennings, and Ellis up front. Spellman, the longtime Bear end, now playing inside. Hambrick, Godfrey, and Coakley are the linebackers. Mathis and Williams were burned often last week at the corners. Teague and Woodson are the safeties. Not only missing Dion, but missing Kevin Smith as well. And Atlanta shedding no tears because there's their starting quarterback, Chris Chandler, with a sore hamstring, in uniform, but would only play in an emergency. 3rd down and 3. Graziani throws. It's intercepted at the 45 by Dexter Coakley, and he's fast. And Coakley is able to stay in bounds all the way down to the 11-yard line.
Now, when you're a quarterback and you're standing back there, you have to make sure that you move your eyes. Defensive linebackers like Coakley are reading your eyes. And if you're going to look at Callaway the whole way, you're going to jump on the football in this league, and that's what you get from not playing. That's the lack of experience. Watch Graziani right here, looking to his right the whole time, doesn't take his head off. And Coakley's reading him the whole way. And you can see the speed of Coakley and the speed of the Dallas defense. So somewhat of a redeeming factor right here. Look at his eyes right there, staring the whole way. And when you know you have a young quarterback back there as a defender, you can read his eyes and just make a play on the ball.
3rd interception of Coakley's career. Ball at the 10. It's 1st and goal with the nose of the ball on the chalk. Emmett Smith cuts it back. Taken down at the 8. Gain of 2. Tripped up by Marty Carter, and that's Marty Carter's, let's say, shoe of, that's Emmett Smith's shoe that gets taken off by Marty Carter. 2nd down and goal.
This is the way this league works. One play, you could have had a touchdown, and the next thing you know, you're back up against your goal line, and you're defending for a touchdown. And when you can take a look here how Emmett loses his shoe. Those are pretty expensive shoes, too, by the way.
They are. Just another way to get a plug in, I guess. 2nd down and goal from the 8. Fake toss. Archambault chasing Aikman, and then Troy is out of bounds at the 6-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal. 4.5 minutes into the game. The Cowboys, amazingly, with a win tonight, would be one of only 2 teams in the NFC to be 2-0. I mean, only Detroit of all teams, amazing Detroit, saw Barry Sanders, and St. Louis 1-0 with a bye yesterday, are unbeaten along with Dallas in the NFC East. No, in the NFC, period.
Well, you find out how good you are when you lose your best player. And I think the Detroit Lion players for the longest time have always kind of given Barry a space, but now they have to do it without him.
So far, so good. Meanwhile, 3rd down and goal now from the 6-yard line. Aikman too high. Michael Irvin stopping in the end zone. Ronnie Bradford with the coverage. And so Dallas can't cash in for 7. Instead, will settle for a field goal attempt.
You know, it was Bradford on this particular play. It was Buchanan the play before. This is, like I was saying, this is an active Atlanta defense. And you can see right here, Bradford waiting for Michael Irvin. It's a little fake inside to go back outside. Incidental contact. The officials are not going to call that. Nice positioning by Bradford that time.
Now Richie Cunningham. This will be a 23-yard attempt. Johnson puts it down, and Richie's kick is good. So the interception by Coakley, the good run back, and Dallas capitalizes for 3. 9:53 left in the first. 3-0 Dallas. Tonight's aerial camera provided by Southwest Airlines. You look at Texas Stadium in the Dallas suburb of Irving, Texas.
Boy, is it hot here today.
It is very hot.
Oh, man.
Warm tonight, too. Dexter Coakley setting up that field goal with the interception after Graziani should have had a touchdown. Callaway dropping what would have been a touchdown pass. Goins' kick is a one-hopper. Dwight backs up and downs it in the end zone. And now Atlanta takes over for its second series at the 20. Here's a reminder. You can go to ESPN.com or NFL.com right now and try our enhanced TV during tonight's telecast. Graziani is, among other things, a brand new father. His wife giving birth to a baby boy, Benjamin, 2 weeks ago today. September the 6th. Graziani, a 7th-round pick, as was Jamal Anderson 3 years prior, each the 204th guy picked in their respective drafts. From the 20, first down Atlanta. And Jamal Anderson looking for room up to the 23. He is, in the truest sense of the word, Boomer, a workhorse. 410 carries last year. When you do the math on that, that means he carries on average 26 times a game. And the Falcons, they don't like Monday night, or haven't in recent times. They've lost 8 straight. The Falcons have not won a Monday night game since '81.
Well, Jamal Anderson loves to run through the tackles. He is not an outside guy. He'd rather run over guys as opposed to being around them. And that's the type of back you like to have behind you. Hand it to him and let him go.
Here he goes again. This time he looks to go outside and hurts himself and grabs for his knee. And this is the worst scenario now for Dan Reeves. And we've seen, without speculating too many of these things, a non-contact thing on AstroTurf, trying to move to his left, and the concern quite evident as Reeves looks up for the replay.
Oh boy. Now, how many more players can go down without contact in this league until they start really looking at this closely? I don't know a player that likes to play on AstroTurf, let alone loves to play on it. And it's a God, that looks bad.
So Anderson and Chandler, who is already in effect done for the night. You're looking at the quarterback who took you to the Super Bowl and the running back who took you to the Super Bowl.
Watch here. He moves to his left, takes a jump stop, and then lands on it the wrong way.
And the irony there, Boomer, is you were just finished talking about the fact he normally loves to go inside.
Right.
So the inside blocked that time and moved to the outside, trying to move to his left, and we see this.
The way the NFL is set up nowadays, when teams lose players like this, Al, you wonder where they go from here.
Byron Hanspard is the backup running back. Injury timeout, 9:01 left in the period.
You can see the trainers right here on the Atlanta sideline. That is Jamal Anderson. He actually got up and walked off the field under his own power. He had a nice smile to his face, Al, and let's just hope that it's not serious. And
yeah, I mean, when he went down, you thought that the cart would be the next thing you would see. So a lot better than we initially thought. Look at the report as Graziani is under pressure and just heaves it away. Intended for Callaway. Charlie Williams that time on the corner blitz. So they're going to throw everything now because you've got the young quarterback and you have Byron Hanspard in as the running back. And the Atlanta Falcons come into tonight's game with only 3 running backs. One of those, Anderson, doubtful now for the rest of the night.
And they are going to throw a lot of things at Graziani. That's one of the things that you want to do to a young quarterback. You want to fluster him, you want to get in his face, and you want to knock him down, and you want to hit him hard.
Dan Straczynski is the Atlanta punter. Deion Sanders would normally run back the kicks, but inactive tonight, unless it is Wayne McGarity doing a pretty good Deion invitation. Flag goes down. He takes it to the 22-yard line.
They say a little push in the back, I believe, by the Dallas Cowboys, Al, and terrific run by McGarity, and penalties like this are what even out games. And there you see Jamal leaving the field.
During the return, get an illegal block in the back. Number 44, be a 10-yard penalty. First down, timeout.
That is Robert Thomas with the penalty. Deion expressing his displeasure. He thinks he'll be back in 2 weeks. Cowboys are off next week. Anderson off to the locker room. 3-0 Dallas.
Back at Texas Stadium, where Jamal Anderson, after being surrounded by 9 Falcon officials, did walk off the field under his own power. He twisted his right knee. Dr. Andrew Bishop said they're going now to take a look at it. But Jamal, as he walked off the field, said, "I think I'm okay." We'll hope so, Al.
Okay, Leslie, and you're right down there.
What a break.
So we'll get the latest word and keep you abreast. Meanwhile, Tony Hudson with a whistle negating this play. Tony Hudson is taking over at tackle for Eric Williams. Williams on that first series with a strained quadricep, and his return is doubtful.
False start. Number 66 offense.
He promptly gets his name called. Sure.
Prior to the snap, it's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, if there is a problem now along the interior for Chan Gailey's offensive unit, I mean, that interior 5 is terrific, but minus Williams, it's something less than terrific. First down and 15 from the 23-yard line. Aikman with that short drop and that classic DP, but too deep for Michael Irvin, who is always looking for a flag. Rodney Bradford with the coverage.
Michael Irvin actually had Bradford beat that time, and you could see right there giving it to Bradford verbally. If Troy just would have thrown that ball a little bit higher and a little bit more touch on it, he would have had him. Look how far off Bradford is playing. You can see that he respects his speed and his ability, and he went right past him.
And then he looks over at Gary Lane, the side judge. Gary used to be a referee, and then went back to being a side judge. And Gary says, "What do you want me to do about it?" Second down and 15.
Tell your quarterback to throw it better.
From the 23, Smith tackled in the backfield. Andre Crockett makes the stop. Third down. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Ford Outfitters. No boundaries. Miller Lite, taste of true Pilsner. Charles Schwab, when we created a smarter kind of investment firm, we also created a smarter kind of investor. And Microsoft, where do you want to go today?
This is going to be a difficult front seven for Emmitt Smith and Chris Warren to get on track. Throwing the ball is their best opportunity. You could see that they can get past the secondary players.
Third down and 16. Ernie Mills, one of the Cowboy receivers, number 80, lines up in the backfield. And Aikman, under duress, throws incomplete. Ismail, the intended receiver, and Boomer. In a time like this, this is when the defensive unit of the Falcons knows, minus a quarterback, minus their running back, if they're going to win this game, the defense is going to do it.
And the defense is what got them to where they were last year, creating turnovers, creating fumbles and interceptions. And this guy is one of the better defensive coordinators in all of football. And you could see the activity on the line of scrimmage. They stunt, they move around, they make plays, they shift, and it can confuse you as an offense.
They'll be going to do the punting. Tim Dwight back to return the kick.
Gun!
High walking boot fielded by Dwight at the 31. And he gets taken down to the 36, and in comes a flag.
Absolutely. Number 54, Ruffin Hamilton, right in the back, and you can see it right in front of the official. You got to wonder what these guys are thinking about when they're running down. When the guy has got his back to you, don't hit him.
It's a call we see. I don't know what the percentage is. A third of the plays, maybe more. Run backs.
You're all keyed up. Your special teams coach is screaming at you, getting you all fired up.
Illegal block in the back. Number 54, during the return, will be a 10-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
Just got to be aware of what's going on.
7:17 left in the quarter. Dallas 3, Atlanta nothing. Troy Aikman and his Cowboys are on top by a score of 3-0. Here's a reminder, regional college football Saturday, headlined by Michigan against Wisconsin at 3:30 Eastern time here on ABC, and the other games, including #1 Florida State against UNC. This is Byron Hanspard in the absence of the injured Anderson. Hanspard is from Dallas. He's from this area, went to Texas Tech. He won the Doak Walker Award as the top college running back in the country in '96. Played as a backup with the Falcons in '97, then tore his knee up in preseason last year and missed the whole year. And he'll be obviously a very key figure for the rest of tonight's game.
He made the all-rookie team as a kick returner, so this kid has obviously had some success. But take a look at the total yards tonight. Boy, whew.
Not quite a Texas shootout, at least at the outset. Graziani under pressure, but escaping from Godfrey. Throwing deep on the run. And open is Chris Callaway to make the catch. He got position on Charlie Williams way downfield. And a big first down for the Falcons.
And this is where a lefty is different as opposed to a righty. When the lefty escapes the pocket, 9 times out of 10, Al, he's going to go to the left side. And when you're practicing against a right-hander or thinking you're going to see a right-hander, these are the things that are different. And right here, they're blitzing. He's play-actioning. He really has no chance here other than to do this. And he shows nice movement. And again, a good touch on the football to get it downfield.
33-yard pass. First down at the 39-yard line. Hanspard swinging to the outside, picking up 5, so a chance tonight for Byron to shine in his hometown. 5'10" and 200 pounds. It'll be second down and 5.
And we talked about the Dallas defense and how leaky they were last week against Washington. One of the reasons being, obviously, Leon Lett is not in the game and on the team right now. He's suspended. But Alonzo Spellman, their defensive tackle, has moved in from defensive end. And you can see Dave Campo right there has had to make adjustments to get these players in positions that they've never played before.
Second down and 5. Hanspard coming up from the secondary was Darren Woodson to hit him first. And his momentum stopped at the 32, setting up a 3rd and 1-2.
I was asking one of the defensive assistants before the game, how difficult is it to move from end to tackle? And he says, well, Boomer, if you're a strong safety and you have to go out and cover a receiver as a cornerback one-on-one, that's what it'd be akin to. I mean, it's a different position. You have different responsibilities. And Alonzo Spellman, really, most players would resist that. Changeli was saying that he's been professional. He said, this is what I wanted. If you need me, no problem.
And coming off a year off as well. So he was picked up by the Cowboys. Asked to get back in shape. Change positions, and a vital guy up front on 3rd and 3. It's knocked down. Graziani has the pass deflected by Williams, intended for the tight end Santiago.
You got a break there as well. That time what you should try to do is maybe kind of loft the ball a little bit higher. Santiago is one of the new breed of tight ends in this league that are 6'7", 270 pounds. And Tony tries to drill the ball in here as opposed to trying to throw it over Williams and giving Santiago a chance to use his height advantage.
Now Morton Anderson, the longtime Saint, came to Atlanta in '95. He's been kicking in the NFL since '82. Put him into the Super Bowl last year, but missed 2 last week. This is a 49-yarder. And the kick is no good. So Morton Anderson, the kind of kicker who will probably wind up in the Hall of Fame, is not off to a Hall of Fame start this season.
Looks like he just mishit it a little bit. A little bit like one of your drives over at Bel Air.
Many of them. Not just one of them.
Didn't hit it real solid. Usually when you hear a solid kick, you hear that thud. Sounded like he got under that one too much.
And of course, every kicker this year, when missing, they can begin to talk about the new balls marked with a special K. The balls that they used to be able to microwave and rub up and put in the dryer and all of the rest. And now only the referee can take the sheen off them before the game. From the 40-yard line on first down. Moving through the middle is Emmitt Smith. Gain of 3. Leslie, what do you have?
Alan, an update on Jamal Anderson. The good news is that the x-rays are negative. They're going to ice his right knee and evaluate him in the morning. The bad news is he is done for the night. Al.
That would figure, because you can't take a chance in a situation like that. And here it was again.
Doesn't look like much. It just looks like his right foot didn't give when he jumped. Amazing thing. Nobody can touch you and you can get hurt like that. And thank goodness it's not severe.
2nd and 7. And here is Smith again. And Emmett with a first down all the way to the 44-yard line. Tackled by Eugene Robinson.
And all that does now, Al, is put greater pressure on the defense of the Atlanta Falcons. And Emmitt Smith had a great game last week. He was excited. There were talk about how he went in the 3rd quarter to say, hey, we have to run the ball a little bit more against the Redskins. They did that. They got back in the game. He, Troy, and Michael, talking to them this week, all seemed to be excited about what they were able to accomplish.
Emmett running like a young Colt again. First down at the 44-yard line. Not an Indianapolis Colt.
First James.
Yes. Smith again. And it will be 2nd down and 10. Aikman and Emmett, they've been together a long time. Here's Troy on Emmett.
So many people over the last several years that have wanted to say that Emmett's slowing down, and I really have not seen that. I still see the fire in his eyes, the competitiveness that he has, and he still makes people miss, just like he has throughout his entire career.
He looked good last week, I'll tell you, and he is in his 10th year, and there's no question that wear and tear takes over after a while.
2nd and 11 from the 45. And Smith, after picking up a first down, losing yardage on the subsequent pair of plays. Travis Hall, the first to greet him. You know, with Barry Sanders, at least for the moment, retired, and Barry could have, as Chan Gailey barks into his headset, Sanders would have eclipsed Walter Payton, barring injury. You now look to Emmitt Smith as the guy, if anybody right now can eclipse the mark of Walter Payton in career rushing yardage. Emmett could do it.
A few more runs like that last one, though. No, not going to happen.
3rd down and 13. He comes out. Warren comes in on 3rd down. Ernie Mills is the man in motion. 4-man rush, and the pass is caught over the middle. It's the Rocket, Ismail, and the Rocket takes it to the 10-yard line. And he is shaken up at the end of the play. Ismail, who was on the receiving end of the bomb in overtime last week, and is the other receiver, the complement to Michael Irvin, with a 38-yard reception here, but shaken up, and an injury timeout on the field.
Now, I don't know how many times I've heard people say, it's 3rd and 11, it's 3rd and 10. Why do you only throw the ball 5 yards? Well, you throw the ball where the progression takes you. That time the progression took Troy Aikman to Rocket. Rocket made the play in between the defenders, and speed is what makes first downs, and the ability of wide receivers like Rocket. Take a look right here. You can see it's about 3rd and 13. He only throws it 5 yards. You break a few tackles, and the next thing you know, you're off to the races. And take a look at what happens to his leg right there at the end. Watch this here. Does a nice job of covering up the football after the catch, and you see Buchanan rolling up on him. Looks like he almost sat on him.
Well, Ismail is such a key guy. Jerry Jones, the Cowboy owner, had him in his sights because the Cowboys, for a number of years, have been looking for the other guy ever since Alvin Harper left and opted to go to Tampa Bay, and then never came up with anywhere near the numbers that he put up here. The Rocket will walk off under his own power. But they keep going to the free agent market and find the other receiver, try to find him, and it appears they have the guy right now in Ismail. But as you go through the years since Harper left, you've got Kevin Williams in 95, and then Dion in 96 was playing offense and defense. Anthony Miller for 1 year, and then Billy Davis last year. And none of them have come up to the figures put up by Harper.
Well, this kid is certainly a true pro in that he practices great. Talking to Jason Garrett, says he loves his work habits, he loves his studying, he knows exactly what he wants to do on the field, and he's been a great addition.
Ernie Mills comes in for him, normally the number 3 receiver. It's first down and goal now. Bjornsson in motion from the 9. And Aikman throws, and it's knocked down at the 2-yard line. Irvin looks for a flag and gets one. Ronnie Bradford argues the call.
You know, Al, he's arguing the call because he believes that he has a right to go to the football, and you do have a right to go to the football. You just cannot run through the receiver on your way there. And it was clear that Ronnie Bradford got there before the ball did.
Number 23, defense. That's a first down.
See, the time before they were down here, they ran a little play fake off of this where Irvin looked like he was going to go in, and then Dirk broke to the outside, and Bradford just makes contact a little bit too early right there. It's a good call by the official that time.
First and goal from the 3-yard line. They work on the rocket. Cowboys now in a tight formation. And they give it to Emmett Smith. Emmett gets to the 1-yard line. And Ebenezer Ecubon, you saw number 96. They operate him in short yardage situations. Not that uncommon around the league these days. There he is. He is the defensive end. Ecubon is their rookie from North Carolina. In fact, their #1 pick. They love him on defense, and on offense, he can help pave the way.
Well, they have him there because when he was in college at North Carolina, he was originally a tight end and then moved him to defense in his junior year. So he has some sense of what to do over there. He's not a true defensive player in the sense of the word.
Dan Daly says he's actually in the playbook on the receiving end of the pass. We'll see, though, as Emmett Smith moves to the outside and goes in untouched.
See right here, watch Keith Brooking, number 56 on the end of the line of scrimmage, taking a poor pursuit angle and gets caught inside, and Emmitt Smith shows you that he still has enough speed to get out and around the corner.
Emmitt Smith with Cunningham for the extra point. That's 127 rushing touchdowns for Emmitt Smith, most in history. 18 of them have come on Monday nights, and 136 total touchdowns in Emmitt's soon-to-be Hall of Fame career. Soon to be 5 years after he retires. Our 30th year of Monday Night Football. So many great moments to look back upon. Here's one of them, 1973.
What about watch it? Bob Lee still running. He's got him wide open, and it's a like that. Eddie Ray, touchdown, 39 yards out.
Bob Lee, the general.
I remember that. I remember that.
I do too. Watching that game, the Falcons in those years, not necessarily a staple on Monday night, but at least in most of the games. We mentioned before, they haven't won a Monday night game since '81, which is amazing.
They're not starting off the way that they wanted to, and a missed field goal, a drop touchdown pass, and before you know it, you find yourself down 10-0. How much more can the defense of the Atlanta Falcons take?
Half a minute to go in the quarter. Goins picked, and Dwight fielding at the 3-yard line. And this is exactly what Atlanta's going to need. Good special teams play along with good defense, as Toby Goin, the kicker, is able to trip him up.
When you have a flag on the play, it's going to be holding, I believe.
All the way back at the 23-yard line. And Joe DeCamillis, the Atlanta special teams coach, and Dan Reeves' son-in-law, expresses his anger. Might be Ed Jasper who gets called for it. Tom White is the ref.
Holding, number 95.
It was.
During the return, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Jasper.
Al, you know, for the Atlanta Falcons right now, they have to kind of eat some clock up. They got to give their defense a little time to rest on the sideline. They've been out there almost all night long. And after a while, it's going to wear down. And that big offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys is going to take it, baby.
Yes, we will. We'll be taping it as well. From the 13-yard line, this is Hansquart. Picking up 3 up to the 16-yard line, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. So it's a week in which the Falcons have to come to town with Graziani as their quarterback and Chandler hurt. They lose Anderson for the rest of the night early and trail 10-0 after 1. Monday Night Football returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Texas Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Al Michaels with Boomer Esiason. We start the second quarter. Quickly, let's go to Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Al, last week the Cowboys ran on rocket fuel. Now he's in the locker room. Rocket Ismail with a sprained left shoulder. He was in a great deal of pain. By the way, he also hurt this shoulder in training camp. Al?
So both teams losing key people at the outset tonight. Eric Williams doubtful for the rest of the game. So is the Rocket, and Jamal Anderson is out for Atlanta, as Byron Hanspard takes the ball across the 20 up to the 23. And as you can see tonight, we're instituting what you've seen on other telecasts, that yellow line indicating the first down.
When you watch the Atlanta Falcons offense, watch the center, Robbie Tobick, Al. Last year in the game against Minnesota in the NFC Championship game, because of the noise in the crowd, he is the one that is actually calling the signals at the line of scrimmage. So watch his head. When he lifts up his head, that's when the ball is going to be snapped. You'll see right here. There's one, and there's the snap.
And on 3rd down and 1, they give it to Hanspard, who goes chugging up to the 23 and close to a first down.
And they need a first down bad right here.
Again, that yellow line, our yellow line that we superimpose, is unofficial. Within a couple of millimeters, but unofficial.
They talked about last year in that NFC Championship game the fact that the Falcons did not move offside, and everybody was wondering, wow, what a great job of concentrating on the quarterback's cadence, but that was not the case. The center is the one who's calling the cadence at the line of scrimmage, and you just have to watch his head, and you'll be able to see that all night long tonight, because they figure that this crowd is as loud as it was in Minnesota last year. And they needed a first down badly there.
And don't get one. And can't afford to gamble, obviously, this early in the game at their own 23. So Graziani comes out. Dan Reeves, and Dan telling us last night he's in good health, doesn't like that spot. As you know, Dan last year at the end of the season underwent quadruple bypass surgery.
Now, if he doesn't like that spot, he can ask for a replay, can he?
Theoretically, yes. Yes, he could. I haven't seen anybody do that yet, though. I mean, it's that would be. I mean, that's really like slicing.
Right.
Slicing it real closely. Straczynski gets off a kick. Fair catch is called for and made at the 38-yard line. With 13:46 left in the first half, and that Atlanta defense has to dig in because the club is already down by 10. Year 30 of Monday Night Football, week 2. Atlanta at Dallas. We go to Arizona next week. Our first look at Jake the Snake Plummer on Monday Night Football as the Cardinals take on the 49ers. The Tempe next Monday night. Now Dallas up 10-0, and it's Smith. Picks up 2. Ray Buchanan up from the corner to make the hit. Next week, week 3, Sunday Night Football on ESPN. The New York Giants against New England with Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, and Paul McGuire reporting. And the Patriots off that big win yesterday against Indianapolis, coming from behind. And San Francisco and Steve Young, who really took a pounding yesterday, coming away with a win against New Orleans against the Arizona Cardinals, who gave Miami all they could handle. And the Cards in their home opener with a record of 1-1.
That was 2 weeks in a row that old man out of San Francisco got beat up pretty good.
He did. 21 times he went down yesterday. And that is LaFleur reaching for it. And does he make the catch? No. David with the ball hitting the turf, sandwiched by Henri Crockett and Eugene Robinson.
Tough catch to make, but the ball was there. You got to make these catches if you want to make it to the Pro Bowl. Difficult. LaFleur, again, is one of those new breed of tight ends. He's 6'7", 275 pounds. He's a nice target running down the middle. You can see Henri Crockett doing all he can to stay with him. That would have been a tremendous catch. But he knew there was a hit coming from Eugene Robinson. It's easy to say catch the ball up here, but that's something that Kellen Winslow would have had that, right? Ozzie Newsome?
If he had earplugs. 3rd down and 7. Aikman going for Irvin, and here comes the flag. And now what's going to be? Offensive, defense. Irvin and Buchanan.
I think it's going to be defense because Buchanan was not looking for the football.
And it is against the Falcons. Michael, of course, is well known, noted for years for pushing off, using his hands, being very
Pass
physical.
Interference. Number 34, defense. That's a 1st down.
This is a terrific matchup in tonight's game. Buchanan stays right with him. He's right there. He's trying to read him. You could see Michael Irvin actually trying to push by him, pull by him. But if Buchanan can try to make a play for the ball, then he might have gotten the call, or it might not have been called pass interference.
That was the key. It was a 19-yard penalty, as it turns out. 1st down from the 39. Emmett Smith. Nothing there. No gain. Jesse Tuggle in on the tackle. Jesse in his 13th year out of Valdosta State. One of those rare cats who spends his whole career with one team. A Falcon since the time he came into the league. And a guy, even though tackles are unofficial stats, through the years, year after year, he leads the team in tackles. 2nd down and 10. Aikman improvises and throws, and it's caught inside the 25-yard line by Bjornsson.
Not only is he improvising, he's going no huddle, trying to put the pressure on the Falcon defense, not getting him a chance to line up and get into their situational. And you can see right now, Chucky Smith is kind of walking leisurely off the field. And the Cowboys are in their no-huddle offense right here, putting pressure on the defense of the Falcons. A great move by Chan Gailey.
Have him on the heels, leading by 10, threatening again. That is tipped in the air, and it's picked off at the 10-yard line. Intercepted by Eugene Robinson. And the veteran Robinson in his 15th year with a very big interception. And Gailey expressing his displeasure with the removal of the headset.
Al, no pass rush, and when you don't get to the quarterback, you're told to jump at the line of scrimmage. And look at Hall. That's exactly what he does to force the interception.
Falcons' first takeaway of the young year.
Defensive linemen are told when they do not get back to the quarterback, get your hands up and try to anticipate the throw. And Hall does a great job of doing that. And then they also work in practice on the deflections like that. And Eugene Robinson makes another interception.
1st down for the Atlanta Falcons from the 10-yard line. Hands guard. And he picks up a 1st down up to the 24. Well, Boomer, we've been watching Dan Reeves for years, and one reason that he is a guy who's been to 4 Super Bowls is he knows how to improvise. He doesn't have his quarterback tonight. He doesn't have his top running back tonight. He's playing on the road. He's already lost half as many games as he did last year. But if anybody can figure out a way to stay in it, it's Dan Reeves.
Well, he's a pro coach, no doubt about it, Al. He did not seem at all concerned about this game. I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was boiling inside a little bit. But he has to get a running game going tonight. And that's what every coach in this league wants. But specifically because he has a young quarterback back there.
Somehow find a way, as Bobby Ross has been able to do in Detroit, from the 24-yard line to give it to Hanspard again. And when you're talking about a kid like Hanspard, again, we mentioned he won the Doak Walker Award in '96, and that is an award given to the top running back in college football. So you know this guy has what it takes. Last year he tore his knee up, and that was that.
And this is a defense that has given up a lot of yards. So this could be a night for him to come out, shine on Monday night. Everybody knows how good he can be. And maybe we'll see something special.
Well, so far for the Falcons, they were down by 10, but that interception by Robinson was a huge play. And now the Falcon offense tries to generate something on 2nd down and 4. It's a draw. Hanspard goes to the outside and gets tackled up at the 29-yard line by Darren Woodson.
He's going to get a lot of work out again. Remember that there's a 3rd-year quarterback back there who's only started 2 other games in the NFL. He's already thrown 1 interception tonight. The defense for the Atlanta Falcons have been on the field forever. So you're going to have to run the ball, try to shorten the game, and give your team a chance in the 4th quarter to make a play.
Graziani 1 of 5, but if you joined the Slade, Callaway dropped what would have been a touchdown on the very first play of the game, a flea flicker. 3rd down and 3 from the 30-yard line. And that is caught by Santiago, and that's a first down. So Graziani is now 2 of 6, and Hansford on the ground, acquitting himself well, 9 carries for 39 yards.
A little bit easier to make 3rd and 3 as opposed to 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13, and you get a chance to use your entire offensive playbook when you're in situations like this. And Santiago, the big tight end, just give him a chance to extend and make a play on the ball. He's athletic enough to be able to catch balls like that, and right there it's a matchup you want against a strong safety.
From the 38-yard line on first down. Graziani open at the 50-yard line, threw a bullet into Callaway, who was in between 4 white shirts. First down.
Smart play calling when you know, or when you think you're the defense and you think that the other team's going to run a lot on offense. Little play action passes like this can create seams. Play action passes like this just want to move the linebackers out of the middle and create openings for wide receivers. And Callaway is very adept at finding seams in those zones.
In Dallas territory now, 1st and 10 for Atlanta at the 49. Good protection. Graziani throwing, and that one's off the fingertips of Callaway. Incomplete. Callaway coming over from the Giants. The Falcons were between a rock and a hard place in a way. They had Tony Martin. They wanted to keep Tony Martin, but the problem was Martin had that drug money laundering trial facing him. The Dolphins took a chance and signed him as a free agent, and the Falcons had to pass on paying him X number of dollars, not knowing what would happen, and they had to go out and get somebody else to replace him.
Dan Reeves knows Callaway from his days at the New York Giants. He's not a deep threat, but he's a solid professional receiver who can find the openings. Get rid of it, they're blitzing.
And he does get rid of it, and it's incomplete.
Tough to throw a screen pass in the midst of a blitz, but what he did good there is that he got rid of the football. He didn't take a sack, and sometimes the best plays you make as a quarterback are the ones where you just get rid of the football and you don't make anything worse than it already is. Trying to run a little screen pass right here to Hansford to the right. Now Dallas defense is blitzing. There's a lot of bodies between he and Byron Hansford, so he just throws it away. A smart play by Graziani this time.
It'll be 3rd down and 10.
He's kind of limping off right now. It seems like Atlanta called timeout.
With 8:24 remaining in the first half. Home of the Cowboys in Irving, Texas. After that timeout, Graziani just needed a little time to compose himself after going down as he threw away that pass on the screen pass attempt. He gets the extra time. It's 3rd down and 10 with the timeout. Rolling, throwing on the run. He has Mathis open, but Mathis is on the chalk. Mathis had gotten behind the corner, Williams, but was standing on the chalk and out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you, the Dallas defense is turning up the heat in passing situations. They're blitzing. They're coming from everywhere. A good call by the Atlanta Falcons this time, moving Graziani out to his left. And when you run to your left like this as a left-hander, the ball is going to sail left on you. So you have to make adjustments and keep the ball to the middle of the field. You can see the ball went away from Terrence Mathis, and he had no chance to stay in bounds with it. It's a hard thing to do, Al, when you're running to your left, is make yourself think, I got to throw it in the field as opposed to just letting it go because it's going to sail on you. I know that because that's happened to me plenty of times.
Here's Krasinski. Fair catch is called for, but letting it go, and Atlanta is able to down it at the 5-yard line by Ronnie Harris. So it's a big difference. Could have been Dallas 17, Atlanta nothing. Instead 10-0, and Dallas ball deep in its own end. The aerial camera tonight provided by Southwest Airlines. Texas Stadium with a hole in the roof, home of the Cowboys since 1971. This franchise born in 1960 and coached by Tom Landry from 60 through 88. First down from the 6-yard line as Aikman throws. It's caught by LaFleur to the 15-yard line. Gain of 8. Let's go to Leslie Visser.
Al, Tony Dorsett for 10 years was the elusive, almost elegant runner for the Dallas Cowboys. He was impossible to tackle head-on. You were slipping past linebackers, always on the move, kept the Cowboys in the playoffs. And, Tony, you look like you could play today. You're here, of course, to honor the 40th anniversary of the Cowboys. Who have you seen?
Well, certainly, you know, I want to lesson some of the players that I hadn't seen a long time, and guys I didn't play with, like Otto Stoll, and guys that I played with, Rayfield Wright or Dwayne Thomas. I didn't play with him, but he was the original number 33. So we had over 100 guys here. Jerry really did a good job for us.
What are your thoughts, though, as we see Emmitt Smith? He might be breaking your record right now. What are your thoughts on Emmitt Smith, who needed 65 yards to move into fourth place all time?
You know, my hat goes off to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith is a great runner. I congratulate Emmitt for everything that he's done and everything that he's going to do. I'm hoping he breaks it tonight, you know, to move into fourth place in the all-time rushing list. That will give me the opportunity to eyewitness it here personally up close. But if not, I'm sure he'll do it next week. But and also I admire Emmitt, everything Emmitt stands for. He does all the right things both on and off the football field.
Well, he's only 3 yards behind. I think you're going to get to see it. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Leslie. That was a 37-yard pickup, and there it is. Peyton, Sanders, Dickerson, Dorsett, and soon to be Emmitt moving past Tony. This is Chris Warren taken down in the backfield for a loss of 4. Back to the 47 by Henri Crockett.
Oh. On the play before that, the big block came from Mark Stepnoski, the center that came over from Tennessee. Al, you talked about him earlier. He has really solidified the offensive line and has given Emmitt Smith an opportunity now to make runs up the middle just like that. It was a huge block in the middle. He took his man out of the play. And there he is. And there's Mark right there. He was here at the beginning, left for greener pastures, and now is back.
One of a kind. Second down and 15 from the 47. Aikman. Nowhere to go. Tackled for a loss of 1 at the 46. It'll be third down and 16. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by the Wide Track Grand Prix by Pontiac. Wider is better. Hollywood Pictures, Mystery Alaska, coming to theaters this October. And PSI Net. The internet starts here. Third and 16 up at the 46. Again, if you joined us late, Jamal Anderson, knee sprain, x-rays negative, gone for the night though. Deion Sanders not in uniform again. Eric Williams probably gone for the night. The tackle, and Rocket Ismail not to return. Third down and 16. And this is caught by Jeff Ogden, who takes it to the 43, but considerably short of the first down.
Again, it's another one of those passes where you don't throw the ball a full 16 yards, but as a quarterback in this league, you have to go through your progressions. When you get your playbook, it's in front of you, and it shows where you go when the defense plays it or how they play it. And you can see Troy going through his reads and taking the safe pass. Now it's up to Ogden to break some tackles. He breaks one, but 3 Falcons make sure he doesn't make a first down this time like Rocket did earlier.
So he'll be going to punt. Tim Dwight back at the 10-yard line. Dwight calling for the fair catch and making it inside the 10 at the 6-yard line. And Atlanta starting at that spot. Tomorrow, the season premiere of Dharma, and I have seen it.
You have seen it.
And that's why you should watch Dharma and Greg. He can putt too.
That's where you.
That's where the money is. As they say, he can do it all.
Remember that.
We've got every cliche in the book here. First down at the 7-yard line.
And here's Tony Graziani actually audibling at the line of scrimmage, signaling because it's so loud. There he is, one-on-one on the outside.
And that is caught by Mathis, and that's enough for a first down. Mathis against Mathis. Terrence working on Kevin. Again, with Kevin Mathis in there and Charlie Williams on the other side, their regular corners both gone tonight, Deion and Kevin Smith.
Well, these guys got torched last week by the Redskins, but the Redskin receivers are much bigger than the Falcon receivers. What I like is the fact that Graziani has had a tough first half. He's standing back there with the noise and everything, and still audibling with signals. It's impressive.
Deion had toe surgery, and it's just taken a long time to mend, but he thinks he can get back after the bye week next week. This is Hanspart taking it up to the 20-yard line. One reason the Falcons went to the Super Bowl last year, they led the league in turnover differential. Dan Reeves' team was plus 20 takeaways versus giveaways. Eugene Robinson giving them the takeaway tonight as you look at Jack Burns, who calls the plays. An interception before by Robinson, by the way, was the 54th of his career. He leads all active players, but he's only 2/3 of the way to Paul Krause's all-time mark, so that's one that's safe. 2nd and 8 from the 20. Fumble. Graziani picks it up, and he's lucky he doesn't fumble again. Dexter Copley is in there for the sack.
You can see 7 defensive players for the Cowboys in and around the line of scrimmage, and I could just figure Dave Campo probably read these guys the riot act this week for getting beat so badly in Washington, and they know that they're playing against a young QB who unfortunately fumbles the ball right here, now tries to make a play and loses track of what's happening around him. He was lucky to hold on to that football.
Graziani pointing to his helmet, indicating, give me the call, give me the play call. Dan Reeves is in his ear tonight. Reeves calling the play in. 3rd and 16, and he has to call a timeout.
And you could see why he called a timeout. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are active on defense. They're showing him all different kinds of looks. And for a young quarterback who just got sacked, there's Steve DeBerg, who's not a young quarterback. He's now the quarterback coach. He did play a few games for the Falcons last year, but here's a kid in Graziani who hasn't seen a lot of this, and no matter what you say, no matter what you try to teach him in the practice situations, in the classroom, to get actually out and see it in situations where you have literally about 30 seconds to understand what's happening to you, you have to be able to do it quickly.
Right off the bat tonight, Dan Reeves went to the back of the playbook. The very first offensive play for Atlanta should have been a touchdown. It was Graziani handing it to Anderson. The flea flicker back to Tony, and his first pass of the night was this one, which Callaway drops. Otherwise, it's a touchdown. And Graziani had that one picked off by Copley, turned into a Dallas field goal, and he's been under duress a good part of the evening.
Duress?
Yes.
It's getting after him, I'll tell you that right now.
After the timeout, and Atlanta's down to its sole timeout, and Dallas now has to take a timeout on 3rd and 16. That's a very unusual call to burn a timeout here on 3rd and 16 after Atlanta takes the timeout.
Simple strategy for Dave Campo. There he is, the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys, is, hey, look, they haven't shown us anything in the passing game to frighten us, to worry about our cover situation on the outside. So let's go after the quarterback. Let's get about 9 guys around the line of scrimmage and take away their running game and force Tony Graziani to be a factor tonight.
Well, you've got Travis Hall. We'll have to check on him, the defensive tackle, walking it back. We had Tony Dorsett before, and well, it's Monday Night Football, so one of the great highlights in 30 years of MNF, as we call it, taking place back in 1983.
Big opening for Tony Dorsett. Look out, he's got great speed. 99 yards and a half. Dorsett down the side.
Tony with a 99-yard touchdown, as after the timeout on 3rd down and 16, Graziani sidearm slings it, caught by Ronnie Harris, and it's short of the first down. Needed 16 and got about 14.
Whoa. You want to talk about courage in this league? Graziani knew that he was going to get whacked, and he sure did by Dat Wynn, the rookie from Texas A&M, an explosive young linebacker. Tony was rolling out to his left, and as he let go of the football, Dat Wynn just exploded into him.
Straczynski now to punt. This is his 4th kick of the half. Fair catch signaled for, made at the 31 by Wayne McGarity. And Straczynski, through the years, it's only something that Steve Hurt, our guy, could have figured out, but Straczynski induces not only more fair catches than any kicker, but in the history of the league, by miles in that category.
And it's the height of his kicks that induce that.
Right.
And give his team a chance to run down to get close to that returner.
39% of his kicks in his career, and he's been around a long time, have been fair caught. Nobody else, none of the veteran kickers or guys who have been around for any length of time, even at 30%. There it is. I told Straczynski before the game he had no idea. He said, hope you didn't jinx me. So far, so good. 2 have been fair caught tonight. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Aikman throws, and it's behind Ernie Mills. 2nd and 10.
Interesting. That's where Rocket Ismail would normally have been. You see Tony Graziani right there trying to grip a football. Looked like he got whacked in the right hand by that win, but Mills probably doesn't get a lot of work with Troy Aikman now that the Rocket is here. So some of these balls are going to be a little bit off the mark. Normally you expect the player to get to a certain spot at a certain time, and when you're not used to working with one another, balls behind or balls in front or balls low or high can happen.
2nd and 10 from the gun. And it's given to a direct snap to Chris Warren is what it was there, and Warren doesn't fool anybody as he takes it up to the 35-yard line, and we tick down to the 2-minute warning.
He probably didn't fool anybody because they saw it on film. It worked twice last week against the Redskins. Rich Brooks, the defensive coordinator, knows that. I'm sure they worked on this all week in practice and said, watch out for this in long yardage situations. And you can see the Falcon defense rising to the occasion again.
2-minute warning. Dallas 10, Atlanta nothing. Michaels with Boomer Esiason, Leslie Visser, Dat Wynn playing more and more defensively and will as the season goes on. Big play on the last series. 3rd down and 8 now. The 2-minute warning has come and gone, and Aikman tries to convert to keep the drive alive, and it is caught but short up at the 41-yard line by Ogden, tackled by Thibodeau. So it's 4th down and 1 now for the Cowboys at the 41, and Chan Gailey is going to be content to send the punting unit out on the field.
Well, I think right now the only chance for Atlanta to score lies in the hands of Tim Dwight. Their offense hasn't done much. They've been stalled. I think they've only gotten over the 50 one time. And here is, you remember Super Dave Osborne?
But of course.
HBO fame?
Of course.
This is the NFL's version of Super Dave right here.
Do you know that Super Dave is Albert Brooks' brother in real life?
You know what Albert Brooks' last name is?
I certainly do. It's a bouncing ball at the 20-yard line, and Dwight lets it go, and Dallas will wait for it to stop, and it does at the 7-yard line with a $1:04 to go in New York tonight at halftime. Chris Berman, let's check in with Chris. 1:04 left in the first half as Atlanta has it at the 8-yard line. And a flag goes down as it's taken up to the 10-yard line by Hanspard.
False start. Number 69 offense moving prior to the snap. They half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
That was Gene Williams. And interestingly enough, watching Tobeck lifting his head on the snap, Gene Williams, who stands right next to Tobeck, should not be moving. Does not be paying attention to his center. And you'll see again, this is the snap of the ball is on the head lift of Tobeck, the center. There's the head up and snap.
1st and 14. Hanspard. Now Dallas can take a timeout, and they will at this point. Dallas will have 1 timeout remaining. Let's check in with Leslie.
Al, Rocket Ismail re-aggravated the shoulder sprain that he suffered in training camp. He had it treated. He was warming up on the sideline. He says he's going back in, Al.
So there he is, Rocket back out on the bench.
And you know, the thing about that, Al, is that his teammates will respond to that. He'll gain great respect from his teammates by coming out of the locker room saying he wants to play. Everybody knows he's hurt. This is unfortunately the way that you gain respect in the NFL, is by dealing and playing when you're hurt.
Nice shot at leader, Chief. Thank you.
And on the other side of the coin, when the guys know you can play and you're not playing,
you got a problem.
Yes, you do.
You have a big problem. It's a macho league, and you want macho guys, and it's just the way it is.
Well, Deion truly is hurt, because if Deion was going to come back for any game, it was Monday Night Football. There's a reason they call him primetime, but he's just not ready. 2nd and 11 from the 7-yard line. Hanspard tugs his way up to the 12-yard line.
We were talking about Deion in the preseason, how interesting an injury he does have, and how unique of an injury he has.
He hurt it last November in a game against the Cardinals. And it's one of those things when you look in the paper and you see a guy's out with turf toe, you figure, well, what is that? First of all, it's an injury that's somewhat indigenous to artificial surfaces, but I don't have to tell you, we've seen enough of these things through the years to know you're looking sometimes at 6, 9 to 12 months until you're ready to play again.
But he actually had surgery on the toe. I actually have turf toe from playing all those years in Cincinnati, and it still hurts. And and you can see right here what happens when Sanders and Leon Lett are out of the game, or when they play with each other.
Well, when Dion and Leon are in together, as you can see, they win almost 2 out of 3. With Sanders playing and Leon out, 2 over 500. With Leon in and Sanders out, they're at 500. And with both of them out, as they are tonight and were last week, that's the 1-0 last week against Washington. 3rd and 6 from the 12. And this is Hanscard after Dallas has taken its final timeout. He'll be short of the first down, but that will take almost all of the time off the clock. Not quite all of it. They're still going to have to run a play.
About a 3-second differential, I believe.
Now, this is one of the, it's a very interesting call here. You don't want to really punt it because of a block punt. I think what you want to do is take a snap, basically, but they're going to at least line up in punt formation.
And you know what they're going to probably do is they'll probably take a fair catch and then use what is really never used, a free kick.
Right.
I believe. So get ready for that.
Atlanta has a timeout left, and they take it right here with 1 second on the play clock and 5 seconds on the game clock. And then they'll figure out a way to.
Now, this is an interesting situation. If you kick the ball, you punt the ball to the receiving team fair catches the ball,
they get a free kick.
They can line up for a free kick, meaning that basically try to kick a field goal.
Absolutely, without the defense rushing in.
Exactly. So
Joe DeCamillis, who, as we mentioned before, is Dan Reeves' son-in-law, Joe Avezzano. DeCamillis is married to Dan's eldest daughter, Dana. They met at the University of Wyoming when Dan was coaching the Broncos. Joe told me they were dating 6 weeks. He had no idea who her father was. He walks into the apartment one night, and there's Dan's picture. He almost died. So here's Straczynski.
Now he's got himself a job.
Right.
It's great.
So here is one time Straczynski doesn't want a fair catch. He's going to angle it.
And he's going to get it.
Out of bounds, but it's going to be fair caught at the 48-yard line. However,
no, not enough time.
The period, if they would like, according to the rules, can be extended for a free kick. And I'm not sure
that they know that.
Either coach knows about it. But it's in the book that the period can be extended after a fair catch.
This is the first I've heard of that, too. I'm going to give you. You're a coach, Al.
Well, in the meantime, the teams are leaving the field. The Cowboys are leading at the half, 10-0. The Toyota halftime show coming up. We're back after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations.